Good morning, happy Sunday. I'm having a bit of a different breakfast this morning. I'm having a sausage egg wrap. So I've got two of the Asda extra special light and lean pork sausages, which are half a tin each. And I've wrapped them up in a egg wrap or skinny omelette made with 2 eggs and some salt and pepper. And also in there I've got some 50% less sugar and salt tomato ketchup, which is half a tin per tablespoon, and I've got 1 dairy cheese slice. Now these you can have 2 for your healthy extra A. And also I've got a Sharon fruit or persimmon, which is free food, so no speed for my breakfast, but this is just what I fancy. And that makes my breakfast 1.5 tins and half my healthy extra A choice. And I've got that with a coffee made with skimmed milk, which will be 70ml of skimmed milk towards another healthy extra A choice. Well, good morning properly. I've now had my delicious breakfast, which has really filled me up. Been in the shower and I'm feeling a lot fresher. Apologies for the sun behind me, that's something that always happens on a morning in this kitchen. So I'm about to make some falafels from this recipe book, 50 Golden Grapes, but I'm going to do that in a separate video, so look out for that coming up. But what I just thought I'd show you first is I've just preheated my oven to 200 degrees and I've got about 1/4 of a butternut squash, which I'm going to roast for a lunch later in the week. So I'm going to stick that in. I'm not sure. Usually if it's a whole one I put it in for an hour. This might not take quite as long, but I'll let you know. So I'm going to roast the butternut squash in the oven. As you can see, I've seasoned it with salt, pepper, paprika, sprayed it with fry light, and I'm going to roast that on 200 degrees. Saturday and Sunday are when I usually do most of my prep for lunches and meals in the coming week. And I've got a celeriac here. I couldn't find another butternut squash, and I've used it in a separate recipe yesterday in a soup recipe. So I got a celeriac instead to go with my Monday mince. And what I'm going to do with this is cook it just like a singing Swede. So I've got a celeriac, which is, I'm not quite sure how you describe it. It's like celery flavour, soft flesh, like swede or turnip, parsnip type thing. So what I'm going to do is literally stick it in the microwave just like that, not touching it, not cutting it, not pricking it, anything like that. And I'm going to cook it in the microwave for about 15 to 20 minutes, and then inside the flesh will be really soft, almost like mashed potato. I did forget to check whether it's speed or not, but I will, it's a speed food, but I will let you know. So yeah, and I'll have this with my mince and it'll be like speedy mashed potatoes. So I've just checked in my book and celery is a speed food. Celeriac. Here look, speed food and a source of fibre, so that's great. And it says it's also called turnip rooted celery. It's cultivated for its edible stem and shoots. Celeriac is like a root vegetable. So yeah, I'm going to cook that now. So you might have noticed that this morning for breakfast I didn't use my healthy extra B choice, and that's because I thought I'd do a Tracy Mouse and have cake on a Sunday. So I'm going to make like a jam sponge, and I'm going to use my 40 grams of oats as my B choice. So I've got one of these little loaf tins that Andrew got from Lakeland. I'm going to spray that with fry light and brush it around with a pastry brush, like so. I've then got 1 carrot and I'm going to peel and grate this, and then I'm going to add the rest of the ingredients. So I've got a small grated carrot there in my jug, and I'll talk about the carrot in a minute, but first I'm going to add 40 grams of oats. So these oats are a mixture of oats, rolled oats, oat bran and wheat bran. I found them in Morrison's, and I think you can get them elsewhere as well. So that's 40 grams of that, and they just make it a better texture for oat cakes or baked oats. And the reason I use carrot is not necessarily because it's speed or anything like that, although that's a bonus, but because it adds moisture and it really bulks it out. And I think some people add yoghurt and things. Well, I don't use yoghurt in mine, so it maybe adds a little bit of moisture. And then I'm going to zero the scales again, and you just want to add a dash of milk. So about 30 ml of milk. There we go. And 1 egg. Then this depends how much of a sweet tooth you've got. You might want to use sweetener. I always use skinny syrup, and for this I'm going to use this vanilla caramel cream. I'm going to add a couple of capfuls of that. And then for some, because I'm going to make a jam sponge, where's the front, strawberry conserve, I'm going to add a bit of Moroccan almond cake flavouring to make it like a Bakewell pudding. And then you want to give that a really good stir. So obviously you can use absolutely any filling that you want to. I've used mincemeat, you can use Nutella, you know, sweet mincemeat. I'm going to use jam in this occasion, and every time I make something like this, the basic recipe is the same, you know, with the oats and the carrot and the milk, and I just change it up with putting jam in the middle, sometimes the skinny syrup, skinny sauces, mincemeat, Nutella, although I try not to have that in the house. So you just want to put a small layer of the oat mixture into the bottom of the pan, or the cake box, whatever it's called. And then strawberry conserve, you'd have to check the sins for yours, is generally half a sin for a level teaspoon. So one tip is to put it in the microwave, especially if you've had it in the fridge, and just make it a bit more runny. So I think I'm going to add I'm happy to give this 2 sins. There we go. Just spread it out as much as you can. You see that? And then obviously top off with the rest of your oat mix. If you have some flaked almonds, remember they are sinned, but if you wanted to go all out, you could sin some flaked almonds. I don't actually have any in the house, otherwise I would. Or you could sin for some custard or something like that. And this mixture, you could actually prepare beforehand, before you cook it. So you could prepare it the night before and then cook it. It's just I decided to make it while I had the oven on. So I'm going to pop this in the oven at 200 degrees for about 25 minutes. So there's my roast butternut squash. I'm going to have that for lunch probably on Tuesday. It will keep in the fridge for probably about 3 or 4 days, just covered up. You can see it's nice and squidgy. So that's one lunch done, and I'll have the other lunch prepared later on today. And here's my cooked celeriac. You can see this too is squidgy and it's starting to come apart. I think it took about 22-23 minutes altogether. So you just want to slice off the end. And there's all the flesh there. So just scoop it out and you've got some speedy mashed potato. And again, that will keep, but in this instance I'll be eating it tomorrow. You can obviously cook it on the same day as when you're eating your meal. just for us, it's easier to pre-prepare some of the elements, and then Andrew can just basically come home just before I finish work and plate up our evening meals. And that is my baked, or singing, if you like, singing celeriac, although it doesn't sing like Swede. And it just tastes a bit like celery, tastes a bit parsnippy maybe, but it's lovely and soft, and that will be delicious. Bit oniony maybe, but not that far from mashed potato. And it's really, really speedy, full of fibre, really filling, and you can't help but put it in your mouth right now. So after a couple of hours of hard work, prepping a couple of meals for the week and my lunch, and the nice oat cake for later on, I've got my lunch. I've made the falafel with harissa yogurt, and I've done it in a separate video. So I've got falafels made with chickpeas, and it's on a bed of salad, and I've got a yogurt dip, and I've added some harissa paste to that. So in total it's 2.5 sins for the serving. And then I've got some diet lemonade, no added sugar, a pink lady apple and a plum. And I'm going to go and relax with Coronation Street now. So it's now coming up to 6 o'clock, and I'm ready to sit down with my evening meal and the next Harry Potter film that's on. So what I'm going to have is, I've got the chicken tikka masala from Slimming World, the pilau rice from Slimming World, and from some stir fry veg. But I've actually made it into 2 portions. So there's my evening meal for tonight and my lunch for tomorrow. And I've actually thrown some of the rice away as well. They're very, very generous portions to serve at least 2, if not more. That's my evening meal, which is completely free on the plan, with I'm treating myself to another can of diet lemonade. And then here is some, I've got more for later, of my Bakewell Tart Baked Oats. So this is 2 sins altogether with the bit that I've got over for my supper, and I'm going to serve that with some or all of this banana and custard yogurt. But however much I eat now, I'll eat it all today, so that'll be 2.5 sins for my pudding. Look at that.
You'll have to forgive Remus. It takes its toll, his condition.
Are you alright, Mr. Weasley?
We're being followed. Always. Most days, Molly doesn't leave the house. It's not been easy.
So there we are, as you've seen, just sitting, relaxing and watching Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. Sorry, Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. Order of the Phoenix was last week. And this is my supper plate. So I've got my coffee made with skimmed milk. I've got a couple of pieces left over from my Jammy baked oats. I think I did say earlier that it was 2 sins. Don't forget, it's 2 sins plus your Healthy Extra B choice for the oats. If you've already had your Healthy B, you would have to count the sins for the oats as well. Then I thought I'd show you how many you get in one of these little packs of hippies. Not very many, but it's enough if you want a nibble. And that is the 15-gram pack, Sweet and Smoking, and they are 3 sins. And then I've got 2 of the mini Toblerones, which are 1.5 sins each. So there's 6 sins there. I've already counted the sins for my Jammy baked oats, and I believe that leaves me on 13 sins. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.